I see it's what's inside of me.
Yes, what's inside of you?
Someday I'll find my love. Until
Rhapsody, a musical adventure, is a fascinating little game. I'll admit, I never played it as a kid. I didn't have a PS1, and I wasn't the target demographic for this cutesy 90s girls anime-styled RPG, and yet, ever since I first became aware of it, I haven't been able to forget about it. There are two main reasons for this. First, the game's hilarious. The story is a funny, playful parody of Disney-esque fairy tales, and the translation doubles down hard on that humor. I am physically incapable of forgetting this fourth wall-breaking joke.
This is White Snow, a town filled with snow. Enjoy the world of snow. No, this is what happens when you do a direct...
But the second, and perhaps even more memorable aspect, is Rhapsody's main gimmick, that it's a full-blown musical RPG. So instead of using its then cutting-edge disk space for pre-rendered cinematics, Rhapsody uses it to highlight story moments with fully sung musical numbers.
my precious, wait a little longer, I will end your strife. I'll bring you back to life, I'll be your wicked wife. Dear Ferdinando, I am here to save you from this curse. Let your love quench my thirst.
And that's really unusual. Not just that Rhapsody is a game with vocal musical performances, but that it actually fully dubs them as well. Most games don't do that. Heck, even Rhapsody's two sequels, when they were finally released in English 2 decades later, don't do that. When it comes to the few games that feature songs with lyrics, you usually either get prose subtitles, or worse, no subtitles at all.
Yeah, besides, it's like the song goes.
One day that wall is gonna fall.
Which makes it even more impressive for a case like Rhapsody, because song translations are insanely complicated. How complicated? Well, today we're going to find out, as we look at 3 songs from Rhapsody, compare their English and Japanese versions, and examine the language and translation differences between them. Alright, let's get started. When you first boot up the game, if you wait a few seconds on the title screen, you'll be greeted by the game's opening number, Someday, or as it's known in Japanese, Itsuka aeru, kitto aeru. This is, in my opinion, Rhapsody's best song, and the biggest reason why is because of how well it handles its translation constraints, specifically the constraints imposed by the original song, that it needs to match the song's meaning, and that it needs to match the song's form. After all, this is a musical number. It needs to both convey important character and narrative information while also doing it to the predefined melody. This is trickier than it sounds. Take the second line, for instance. Straightforwardly, this means, my name is Cornet, but in English, that's 5 syllables, and the line needs 12. So the English version rewrites it as, Cornet is my name and I'm a puppeteer too. And that's true. That's literally the next line of the original song. But now that they've shuffled that information up, the English version needs to find yet another way to fill in the next line. This issue of syllable mismatch is common for all song translations, but it's especially prevalent and systemic with Japanese and English. After all, English syllable structure allows consonant clusters on both sides of a vowel, while Japanese is a CV language which permits neither consonant clusters nor non-nasal consonants at the end of a syllable. Consequently, this means that in song translations, English almost always needs to expand on the Japanese, while Japanese almost always needs to truncate the English. To complicate things even further, Japanese doesn't exactly have syllables like English does. Instead, the language is usually thought of as being based on mora, sound units of defined vowel length, which distinguish a short vowel word like uncle
おじさん
from a long vowel word like grandfather.
おじいさん
That's why in a song like Someday, the word for puppet, which sounds like 2 syllables when spoken,
人形が好きだからな
can sound like 4 syllables when sung.
人形
This also means that when you're translating a Japanese song into English, how many English syllables there should be isn't always obvious or consistent.
女の子いの女
These constraints of the original, capturing the form of the melody and the meaning of the story, they're foundational stuff for singable translations, but they can be really challenging to address. Like, there's a lot more that can go into translating the song's form than just syllable counts. Things like choosing words that have longer vowels for long notes, or wording lines so that the English syllabic stress lands on the stressed notes, but you get the point, right? So, while it's essentially the bare minimum, it's still noteworthy that every English song in Rhapsody conveys the story to the melody. Unsingable subtitles would have been so much easier, especially for a small 1999 localization team. And overall, I would say Someday actually sounds pretty good. I can't quite say the same for our next song, unfortunately. Our World, or A World for Just Two People, is Rhapsody's big emotional love song, and in English, it's pretty rough. It's supposed to be the big Disney romantic duet, the moment where a couple reunite and feel emotions so powerful that they can't help but sing about them. And the song just doesn't quite deliver on that. But that's actually an interesting issue because it lets us ask, what's wrong with it? And while I've read complaints about the singing or the music itself, I'm going to suggest that there's one big translation-related reason why it disappoints. It's because, unlike Someday, it doesn't rhyme.
I can no longer hold it back. My heart is filled with love. The feeling of love for you.
And no, even though this verse seems like it's building up so that the next verse ends with a rhyme on love for you, it doesn't either. The closest thing the song gets to rhyme is repetition of the exact same word.
Is it just a fantasy?
It's not a fantasy.
Are we dancing in a dream?
It's not a dream.
I never ever want to wake up from the sweet, sweet dream.
This raises two questions. Why doesn't it rhyme, and why is that an issue? Well, normally in song translations, retaining some of the original rhyme is considered an important part of capturing the song's poetry and musicality. It's that constraint of the original form we've established. But that's not present here because Japanese songs aren't generally written to rhyme. Aside from Japanese rap, which breaks Japanese grammar to get some of that English-inspired rhyme, and modern J-pop, which uses it sparingly, by and large, Japanese songs don't intentionally rhyme. From a songwriting perspective, it's almost too easy. Japanese is a language with 5 vowels and very consistent sentence endings, so rhyming can be extremely trivial. As a result, songs like Our World lack any sort of rhyme, and this is an issue for English song translations, because while not every English song always rhymes, even songs which mostly avoid it tend to incorporate a little bit of it. It's just one of those fundamental building blocks of how English makes a song sound like a song.
We'll surely avoid scurvy if we all eat an orange.
Door hinge? No. Guess the song's over then.
And that's the key thing. When you're translating a song from another language, you're not just considering the artistic constraints of matching the original, but the constraints of your target language as well. How will this new version fit into the new language? For English, this means considering all the poetic nuances of rhyme. What rhymes will you use? What rhyme scheme will you use? Will you use internal rhyme? On the other hand, for Japanese, this usually means ignoring rhyme, even when it's a part of the original form. It just doesn't sound as necessary as it does in English. And then with a tonal language like Chinese, you can have Cantonese, where song translators have to really dig to find words with tones that roughly match the relative pitch of the melody, and Mandarin, where tones are ignored in songs. And that's probably what best encapsulates the issues of Our World as a translation. Not the fact that it doesn't rhyme, but that it doesn't do enough to consider or adapt to its new language. With how word for word the English translation is, it honestly feels like an early rough draft. For most song translations, the process starts with a very direct and literal translation, which then gets gradually revised and refined to be more and more lyrical.
This time we're off the rails. Here we go. Let's raise our sails.
Here we go, off the rails. But you know it's time to raise our sails.
Which takes us to the final song I want to talk about, and probably the second most polished of Rhapsody's soundtrack, Evil Queen. Evil Queen is Rhapsody's villain song, and it's probably my second favorite song on the soundtrack. It's a fun song, with our villain Marjorie singing all about her ego, her romantic desires for the prince she's accidentally cursed, and her comedic relationship with her minions.
Don't you know you're old enough to be his mother? Hey, you shut up!
It's not perfect by any means. There's weird grammar at points, and it's kind of inelegant how they changed Prince Ferdinand's name to Ferdinando for the sake of meter. I can also point out how an arguably meaningful motif gets dropped in the English version. The original title means Flower of Evil, which is used a couple times in the song alongside a brief visual when she creates a rose. But compared to Our World, this is a significant step up. And a huge part of this is because while Our World is almost a word-for-word translation at times, Evil Queen makes a ton of creative changes. For example, when Marjorie sings "But It's Okay, Because We Have Love," this gets rendered as,
Dear Ferdinando, I am here to save you from this curse. Let his love quench my thirst.
The English translation then reuses this line as a refrain, letting the "quench your thirst" phrase solve a tricky line that doesn't really translate well otherwise.
Let your love quench my thirst.
What's driving these changes isn't just the need for it to fit the constraints of the original or the constraints of the target language, but a kind of subjective constraint of sounding good. After all, songs aren't just creative exercises, they're performances to be enjoyed. So, on top of knowing the constraints of the original and the constraints of the target, translating a song also requires subjective aesthetic judgment. Taste. That's why a line like, say, "Osoroshi, osoroshi," gets translated as, "Oh look at me, what do you see?" instead of, "Oh look at me, oh look at me." They could have easily matched the Japanese reduplication, but for English it just sounds intuitively better to vary it up. I can only really speculate why there's this difference, but it's a definite pattern I've noticed across a number of Japanese to English song translations. And in fact, Rhapsody songs actually have quite a few of these small, subjective, creative changes. For example, in the English version of Our World, to emphasize the couple's connection, certain lines have the two come together in duet, where in the original Japanese they just sing the line solo.
We can fly
Together on the wings of love.
Or, in Someday, the English version adds a lot of interesting little musical theater flourishes, such as how they turn a line of singing into spoken dialogue.
Cornet, won't you stop your silly dreaming, please?
That's not true. Can't you see?
Or how they add little spoken interjections at the end of certain lines.
There she goes again, she's so in love.
So?
As if lightning struck her from above.
But it did!
Hi.
This might come across as a bit odd for those unfamiliar with it, but this is an incredibly common feature of musical theater songs, and it really helps sell the musical theater feeling.
When I was little, I thought I would be a big comedian on late night TV.
And what makes this so interesting is that there are no rules or translation guidelines that told the translators to do this. It's just a creative decision they made. And that's cool. Song translations are extremely complicated things. They require a ton of creativity and skill, and come with many different competing translation requirements. You're trying to faithfully capture the original's artistry, while also following your target language's songwriting requirements, while also deciding what makes a good song lyric. And that's a big reason why singable translations are relatively rare. It's a ton of work. That's also what makes them so cool. They're works of constrained songwriting where the translators are pushed to really engage with the song, to really reinterpret it, and to bring it to life in a new form. What is the author going for? And what is the soul of this piece? And how can I re-express that? What aspects of my language can I use to make this song sing? As translator Zach Davison once wrote, translations are like cover songs. Every translator adds their own voice and style to a performance. With song translations, it's just a little more literal.